Hello, people of YouTube! I'm Schoko, and today we're watching I Accidentally Became the Director of Smiling Friends by Schoko. Here we go!
I did not mean to become the Smiling Friends director. In fact, when I started working on the show, I was a baby, 19 years old. I'd never storyboarded before. I didn't understand how TV animation worked. I never even had a real job before. Basically still breastfeeding. And 4 years later, I was directing the show. And honestly, there were so many times I could have screwed it up. Like the time I was stressing about losing a week's worth of work 5
It's all gone, you idiot!
hours before the deadline.
Time before you fall.
For being forced to storyboard an entire episode from a monastery in rural Italy. I went from being a teenage animator to being in charge of hundreds of professional animators.
As a teenager? That's a possibility of doing that? Damn. Now that's
on a
lucky.
#1 show. And then I lost it all in an instant.
To the Smiling Friends crew, we regret to announce that we have decided to end the show after season 3, and that's when it ended. Wait, so but nobody knew. Nobody really knew. Not even the director until the announcement happened. Oh, but the show is so good.
Nothing about the way it all went down was normal.
Even me getting hired in the first place was crazy. When I first heard that Zach and Michael had
Let me see. Adult Swim Smiling Friends turns frowns upside down. Co-creators Michael Karstek and Zach Hadel, new adult animated comedy features a company's tasked with bringing happiness in a bizarre yet colorful world. Started 2022 with Smile. Debuts January 9th. Why am I saying 20? Last May, Adult Swim dropped a promo video and its green light of Michael Karstek and Zach Hadel's Smiling Friends. Well, left us smiling at last. Next year might be, and this is when they were kind of really, because I know that they usually bring up the case to any producer company or anything like that. That's how like they'll be like, oh yeah, here's my pilot. That's kind of how most animated TV shows work. Is like go up to like the streaming service or whatever is providing the series to give a introduction of it, and with that pilot it greenlights whether they're gonna actually turn this into a show or not. And it's kind of interesting how they kind of choose, but a lot of ideas tend to go past through as long as it's like actually entertaining and good.
made a pilot, I dropped everything. I was a huge fan of both of them. I got my popcorn, sat down, and I
Wait, so he only became a director after the pilot. So he wasn't part of the pilot, he was after the pilot and doing the whole series after that. Oh my goodness. With no like experience
watched
being so
Smiling Friends for
young.
the first time. And then I watched it like 5 more times.
Oh.
It killed me. I would die laughing every time I watched it. So I reached out to Zach to congratulate him. I wasn't expecting any response, but later that day,
It was like, congrats on the pilot. Please. Damn it. I cannot go back.
So I reached out to Zach to congratulate him. I wasn't expecting any response, but
Please never message. Why? Okay. Please never message me again.
but later that day, my phone buzzed.
Zach Hadel, my favorite animator, messaged me back. And not only did he respond, but he told me that if Smiling Friends got
Congrats on the pilot. Thanks, man.
greenlit, he would want to
Would you want to work on it? What?
hire me for the show.
He was a fan of my animations. I was so stoked, but I didn't tell anyone about it because I didn't want to jinx it. This show wasn't greenlit yet.
Oh, so this is still in the process of being greenlit. Adult Swims are violently trying to greenlight Smiling Friends. Swimpedia, I am violently begging you to greenlight Smiling Friends.
Wasn't greenlit yet.
I don't care if the show ends up a Netflix exclusive. I need more episodes. Hope the show does get greenlit for a few more seasons. Greenlit means the show is getting a full season, so help me God, if you don't greenlit Smiling Friends, I will combust in an airport. I love this. Made by the turtle, no less. Everybody give Zach and Michael your energy of her audio-visual spirit and bomb that is Smiling Friends. Yeah, the bomb. Hi, Kami. How you doing? Welcome. Oh, yes. Thank you. Hi, Numan. How you doing? Welcome.
But 6 months later, it was.
There it is. And then that was the announcement that we all saw and got really excited for. Coming 2021. And now it's ending. We're literally at the end of it all. Make sure to give Kami a follow, everyone.
And I got another text from Zach.
Awesome. I'll reach out in a few months. It's greenlit. You available to test? The pants
They gave me a script from the unmade version of the house.
I don't know if I can legally show the script, so just know that it's a scene where Pim gets lost looking for wood. Yeah, that was like one of the first few episodes. This one, yo, is this guy doing blackface? Is Schoko doing that right now?
Halloween episode, and I had to turn one page of it into a storyboard.
Yo,
that was my
no
storyboard
way.
test. I still have the original notebook.
That was the test. So storyboarding everything and then making sure everything goes with the whole story. Oh my
Sketches
goodness.
from when I was making it.
So the test was done, but I didn't have the job yet. They had to decide if they actually wanted to hire me. All I could do now was wait. It was one of the longest weeks of my life. I was refreshing my email constantly, and one day in December, I got an email back.
Hired!
I got hired, and they were gonna give me 2 episodes to board. It was
Mr. Frog. Oh, that's the best one too. Charlie doesn't come back. Literally, these are like the best episodes. Storyboarding those.
like an early Christmas present.
But here's the problem. I was 19, still in college,
Oh, no.
and now I had to work as a storyboard artist for an Adult Swim show. And I didn't know how to storyboard. That
Oh,
test
no.
was the first thing I had ever done. I'd never storyboarded for any of my YouTube videos.
Oh my goodness! He made the... Oh! That's one of the best animated ones I've ever seen. I freaking love that one. It's one of the best ones. I can't remember the character's name right now. Not off the top of my head. What was it? What was the dog from? Mickey Mouse, Goofy, yeah! How he murdered a bunch of people. I did not know he did this though. Doing alright, TF2. Oh! I'm doing okay right now. Thanks to my meds, I'm doing not as bad as I would before.
I didn't even know how to use a storyboarding program. I had no idea what the rule of thirds was, no idea what TV
Be
shows.
gentle. Wait, let's see the other one. For context, the rule of thirds is a compositional technique commonly used in storyboarding in which the frame is divided into the thirds. I did not know this. No wonder animation and all of that was really hard. So, but he's never done any of this before. That is crazy. Making animations without even needing to do any of this. And now having to learn it all in one job? Nah.
XO1 Cyrus 1 Ox follow.
Way too much. I said I have something wrong and gaslit you into thinking that was their name. What do you mean? Thank you so much for the headphones. I thought it was Goofy, isn't it? Thank you so much for the follow, XO Cyrus. How you doing? Welcome.
No idea what TV show storyboards were even supposed to look like, and I had 3 months to do 2 full episodes. It had just taken me like 2 weeks to do a minute, and I was taking college classes at the same time.
Oh, no.
On top of everything, I had no work ethic at all. And it was all remote, so I had no one keeping me accountable. At the end of my second episode, I had procrastinated so much,
Oh,
and I was forced to
no.
work like 16-hour days for like 2 weeks straight. And I was working on this tiny, shitty little all-in-one tablet, and I was saving my files incorrectly because I'd never used the program before. And it could have cost me my job because, well, here's the story. It was 2 days before deadline. 3 a.m. I've been working nonstop for 2 weeks. My wrists were killing me, my eyes were burning from looking at the screen, and I had just finished the episode. And I went to click save, and it wouldn't save. And then I clicked again. So I tried copying every panel in the entire episode into a different file, and it didn't work.
No, I'd crash out. No. Oh my goodness. No. I'd be so done. I felt that pain before, and it's not good. It's horrible.
All of my work from the past 2 days was sitting there, and I couldn't do anything. It was 32 hours of work, and the deadline was in 8 hours. I was screwed. I was gonna let Zach and Michael down. They could have hired some industry storyboarding veteran, but they didn't. And if I didn't deliver my episode, they would realize that it was a mistake to hire me.
But I wasn't giving up. I troubleshooted for 2 hours. I barely had any time before my deadline, and I still had to upload it. But I couldn't figure out why it wouldn't save. I checked the file to see if it had corrupted when I noticed a red bar. I had 0.9 gigabytes of space left on my computer.
Oh,
I started deleting stuff, old photos, school projects, and I almost deleted the animation from my pilot that impressed Zach enough to hire me in the first place. Which, if you want, you can see on my Patreon.
Surprise!
Oh.
I made one. And since Smiling Friends ended so unexpectedly, I'm out of a job. So it'd be a great help if you guys like my cartoons and you want to see these pilots that I'm cooking up, then go check out my Patreon. Anyway,
It was 5 a.m. I finally got enough space to save the file. But when I went to upload it,
Success. Let's go. Yeah. How you doing, Mama? Welcome. Sounds fun.
it said it would take over a day to upload.
Oh, no.
My Wi-Fi was too slow. But I had an idea. I started looking up anywhere that was open this late, and I found it.
Not the
It took hours, but at least Dunkin' Donuts Wi-Fi was better than mine, and it uploaded. I went home, and for the first time in weeks, I slept in. And when I woke up, I had a message from Zach and Michael. They saw my boards, and they loved them. And goddamn, I was lucky it was remote. I mean, if anyone saw my working habits, they would have never hired.
I used to record journal videos on my phone while I worked on season 1. My room was always trashed, and I worked from my bed. Nah, that's relatable. If you can, do it. My back was killing me 24/7. Oh, should have been sitting on better cushioning. Or sitting in a better posture too. I'm better now, I swear.
Hired me again. And the fact that Zach and Michael love my work made me way more confident in my boarding. But it didn't
Yeah, draw Ellen again. I love how you draw Pim and Charlie.
really matter anymore because boards were done. They wanted me on animation, which is a completely different skill set.
He's not even making the move. I bet he doesn't even know squash and stretch. Squash and stretch. I think this is squash. Oh, congrats on the armor.
So I was hoping the first thing they give me wouldn't be the hardest thing in the world to animate.
It was the hardest thing in the world to animate. And it really shouldn't have been. It was Pim's cowboy hat.
Which I know it sounds dumb, but this hat made my life hell for way too long. Cowboy hats have these raised bits, and they look different from every angle. It took forever to learn, but I conquered the hat. I did my shot, but what I didn't know is I was about to learn a valuable lesson in TV animation. If you do well with one hard shot, they keep giving you more hard shots. Next time I checked my assignments, I had not one, not two, but 4 more cowboy hat shots. I even had to animate one that was just the hat. So they give you hard shots, which is a pain. But it's cool though, because you get shots like the crowd smashing the forest demon or Charlie getting tortured. I even got to animate Gilbert Gottfried as God, which was his last role before he passed, which is crazy. But then animation wrapped, and the season was over. But
This t-shirt was the wrap gift, and it didn't hold up. Should have just put it in a case at this point. It's the principle where the characters stretch and retract. It's very hard to explain the words. Is it like what old Disney animations had, where they were just going like ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum-bum-ba-dum, you know, kind of thing. Cause that's what it reminds me of. It's legit only available like I'm glad you were able to get up.
Now, I had my name in the credits of a real show. And
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I did not know. Okay, David Hutzel. Hutzel? I'm sorry. Damn.
a real show. And there was even supposed to be a rap party in LA. I could have the chance to meet Zach and Michael in person for the first time. But the thing is, they gave us a week's notice for it. And I was on the East Coast. I was so sad. I called my dad. I was like, man, there's no way I can go. I really want to. But like, they gave us a week's notice. Like, I can't afford to buy a ticket a week in advance. And then I checked my email the next day. My dad bought me a ticket to go.
And so one week later, I was on a hotel rooftop. There was a hot tub, a huge inflatable screen that was playing the show. And I wasn't even 21 yet. I was the youngest person there. And I was with my dad because he bought his own ticket too.
But I was glad he was there. He was like my manager. It was so fun.
That was where I met Zach and Michael for the first time. I got to meet the Perry Caravello.
And I got to meet
No
Hannah.
photo with Michael. Hannah, I didn't get a photo with her, but she did get one with Perry.
Dago for the first time in person. And to this day, she's still one of my closest friends.
Looking back now, this might have been my first real step toward directing the show. Because it's one thing to hire someone, and then it's another thing to meet them and find out that they're not just some random smelly animator. They're actually like fairly normal and well-adjusted. And that's important. So the party was great. The only problem is that now there was this huge break between season 1 and 2. And so I
That break would help immensely for school stuff too. For context, the break was for over a full year. Damn! I didn't realize that it was a whole year since they came back.
And so I went back to being a college student, and I decided to study abroad in Italy. And then season 2 started while I was in Italy, which I worried would happen. Luckily,
Oh, he's traveling, I see. Going out to Italy. Season 2 is starting. You'll be able to come back. Such an obvious reaction. Be like, oh, not again. It was such a good breakup. So bouncy like a ball stretches it. So it's like slime or like bouncy ball. Because it goes flat and then it goes long. I get it.
luckily, I brought that little tablet that I boarded on in season 1.
Ooh. So lucky. The screen is orange because I was using a super strong blue light filter. Oh,
But now I was supposed to board while I was in another country. During a semester where we were constantly traveling, we were in classes all day. And
some of my paintings and pottery work. Damn! This must have been a fun trip. Nah, that's some good art. Even the cat one. All the cats, giant cat running. The dragon one's so cool. This one's more funny. Thank you so much for the follow, Ryu. How you doing? Welcome.
I was living in an old converted monastery, which had walls that were made of stone bricks, so thick that no Wi-Fi could get through them. So what this meant is that on nights where I had to upload my work for meetings, I had to stand outside in the cold because I had better connection outside the building than inside of it. Balancing school and work was almost impossible. I was working mornings and nights. I even started working during class. One of my art professors was like, "You have an actual art job? Yeah, you don't need to do these art projects."
Stop doing my classwork. Not the teachers over here like, yo, you better be doing that work. Smiling friends, I'd be watching those episodes. Get to it. Focus on that. If I were a teacher, I'd be the same way. I'd be like, you making my favorite show right now? You don't do any work. What are you doing? Go back to doing your actual job work. You got a full-on job. You don't need to go to school anymore. You already made it. You made it to the point you need. Because the experience is all that matters at this point. Me to my professor.
Just do your work. At one point, I was a week behind on my boards, which was a quarter of the episode. And I was supposed to go to Modena with my friend to see the Ferrari Museum.
Ooh.
I stayed home. I was trying to prove that even though I was young and in college, I could still do good work on the show. Probably the best example of this is during Easter. Allow me to set the stage. The whole town and all the students were involved in this huge ceremony. There was a giant cross and a statue of Jesus, and they were carrying it through the streets. They had candles and robes, and it was all solemn.
And I could see below where the procession would end. The beautiful town piazza where we would celebrate Easter together in Italy. And right when we were about to get there, I had to go back up because I had a meeting.
I was literally choosing my job over religion.
Draw a funny cartoon. Go. No, that's so good.
Sorry, Jesus. But it came to a point where I actually told Zach and Michael that I didn't think I would finish on time. And when boards get delayed, everything in the pipeline gets delayed. It's a big problem.
And I was terrified of being the kid they took a chance on who couldn't keep up.
So I locked in. I actually...
Oh, the Chad face is always the best. Definitely locked in there. How you doing, Lauren? Welcome! Hi, Lauren! I miss you too! You're so sweet. Man said good, can I... Yeah, exactly.
I actually finished that episode 2 days early.
And when they saw it, they loved it. So much so that they started asking me to help punch up boards on other episodes. They were
Oh, so I didn't know this. So he was only doing other episodes prior and only select episodes, so, and the complex harder ones sometimes. So I like that. And now doing even more? 5 a.m. You should be getting some sleep. You should be like, go sleep. Go do the sure kind of thing. Gotta get some like tea or milk. Milk with honey is always so good. Why are you anxious but excited? Is this something good? I hope it's a wonderful opportunity for you. I hope you're doing well though. One example of the section I punched up, a punch up is just a rework of the scene to better fit the creator's vision.
letting me make judgment calls on certain visual aspects of the show. They were trusting my knowledge of the style in ways they never had before.
Which was weird.
Because normally, you're getting notes. People are telling you what to change. But instead of giving me notes, they started asking me what I thought should change on other boards.
So I felt like something was kind of changing. And then one day, it all made sense. When animation started, they asked me to lead the same episode I boarded.
And what that meant is that on the same episode, I was a storyboard artist and the animation lead, which is crazy because those are two completely different parts of the process. One is planning the scene and the other is overseeing the final animation. I was giving notes to other people for the first time. So I wasn't simply just doing my part anymore. I was gonna be responsible for how the whole episode turned out. And that's a really big jump. So like for months, I was animating non-stop.
If this was going to be my episode, I wanted it to be as good as possible. Like 3 full minutes for the start of the Alien episode,
Okay, let me turn it off. Oh. There it is. Yeah, I forgot to turn that off then. The guy knows what it's like to chill 5 gun with the work ethic. Yeah, get thrown in so deep. Someone really, really big followed me today. My biggest inspiration, my old shield. Most chaotic gremlin VTuber of the world. Sorry for speaking of another person here, but nobody knows her, so I think there's no problem. I was just anxious. I mean, she can, but she is not the cutest, and the cutest will be Schoko. No. I'm not cute. I'm dangerous. I am a menace to society. I am scary. I'm not cute, but thank you. You're so sweet. But I'm so glad. Oh, Chibi, I love her. No, I don't have a problem when people bring up creators. I don't know why people have a problem when other creators are brought up. Personally, for them, but definitely not for me. I don't care. You can bring up, especially because I like hearing about the drama and what happens with YouTubers and stuff. But oh my goodness, Chibi followed you. Oh my goodness, she's the best. I'm so glad that she followed you. That means you're doing good. See, even she's noticing your amazing work. I'm not as dangerous as a kiwi. I am not dangerous. I am beer. Beer me. Cause I could be the best, you know? I am the danger. Haha. Rah. Hey narrator, how you doing? Welcome. Schoko, you're really dangerous. I forgot you're a thief. You stole my heart. Haha. And I stole your chocolate too. The most people will say about you is, no! They will say more. They'll be like, Schoko, she's gonna eat me. Rah! Or burn my house down. I'll burn your house to the ground. One of those like references. You burn my house to the ground? Do. That's what it is.
Animated. All of Fillmore, the UFO shot where they get sucked up. But now I wasn't only responsible for myself, I also had to lead a team of animators. And I had such a great team. Hannah Daigle was on it, Zoro was on it,
Yeah.
even the Small Boo team was on it.
Wait, let me see all the works they've done. I am so curious. Ooh. Oh! Okay, let's go.
Zoro was on it.
Yeah. These are some really good animators. You probably say sorry afterwards. You did burn my house. I'd say sorry, but I'd smile anyway. I'd be like, hey, sorry, I burned your house.
Even the Small Boo team was on it. And they did work for like Adventure Time. And now I was leading them.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But then the pipeline changed. And things started getting shipped over.
They even got that? The people working on Adventure Time up in here? This is one of my favorite episodes of Adventure Time, is when they're chasing after... Oh my goodness, they even did like the piano and cake stuff. I freaking love that series.
They did work for like Adventure Time. And now I was leading them. It was crazy. But then the pipeline changed. And things started getting shipped overseas. Which meant that my job became giving notes to the overseas studio.
So imagine me, 22, joining Zoom calls and speaking through a translator to a full room of Korean animators. I mean,
I forget they tend to go to Korea for animations. Same thing with Family Guy, same thing with American Dad. That's why like you saw the certain meals or lunches at school being like, I remember it was like only one specific meal over and over again. Same thing with Family Guy until like they started actually adding more detail in different types of meals. But I didn't know it was outsourced to Korea for this animated series. I like that. It's always so cool to see like the animation just get better and get more work done because they have a whole team that they can just hire. Hi Nia, how you doing? Welcome. Considering the height difference between normal person and little gremlin is quite a lot more. What do you mean? I am feral, right? If I bite you, you get rabies. It'll be Korea for real. I was narrator for cartoons. I was working in Korea too. Oh, see, narrator. Working. How can someone with a voice be dangerous? The only way of being dangerous like that is I see it killing some men of love. They fall in love with you, abandon everything, and then to be with you, and you'll be like, hee, sorry, I am a bad girl. Lauren is the only one who has my heart. That's sweet. Hee, bad girl. Super happy to see you're alive. Yes, I'm alive. I'm not as in much pain, but I am taking care of myself. I am, Doldan. What are you saying? Say that about you while you're a gremlin. I just fell into a vicious sight. No! I hope you're alright.
Animators. I mean, literally every single one of them was older than me. It was terrifying. I didn't turn my camera on the whole season.
The whole entire time. No camera on there staring at black screen with name. Sorry, Dan, you have so much work to do to edit this today. Good luck. I'm so glad. Yeah. Thank you, Nia. That's you. How you doing, Raid Hunter? Welcome.
Because I didn't want anyone realizing how young I was. And it worked in a weird way. I mean, almost no one on production, even on our team, knew how old I was.
So like even at the season 2 rap party, someone actually came up to me and was like, wait, you're David Hootsell? I thought you were some like 55-year-old man. And I guess at that point I realized that it didn't matter.
If you put in the work and you're good at it, it didn't matter how old you were. One day I was
Don't
out
matter.
walking and I was just thinking about where I was. I was 23 years old. I had just graduated and I'd gotten to lead a team full of amazing animators to finish an episode that I boarded myself on a TV show that I loved. And as I'm walking, I get a call from Adult Swim. And they asked me if I wanted to oversee everyone's boards. Like, for the whole show. I was going to be the board director. And not only that, but Adult Swim was bringing the show in-house, in Atlanta. And I was in Atlanta. I would get to work at the William Street building. The thing at the end of the credits. I was so excited. I showed up before I even had a badge, and I got kicked out.
But I had an office. I was working alongside other shows like Haha You Clowns. Adult Swim felt like a family. Like I made real friends there.
It felt like what I imagined old school Cartoon Network must have felt like.
Like even like they had such cool shit. Like at the Christmas party, they hired a tattoo artist, and you could get a
No way! Pretty sure the creator of Aqua Team is giving the tattoo artist a meatwad tattoo in this photo. Oh, that's so good.
and you could get a tattoo for
Oh my goodness! Oh, these are so cute. It's literally the encapsulation of all the amazing TV shows from them.
free. For the longest time, I had always wanted to get a tattoo for every cool show that I worked on. And so the whole time at the party, I was thinking about it and I was nervous and I didn't want to do it, but I knew I had to. And so I put my name in the queue and I got a Smiling Friends office tattoo. You can see here. And I remember when I showed the tattoo to Zach and Michael, we were in a meeting. And I remember Michael was like, "Is that real? Is that real? Did you actually get that?" Like they weren't like, "Whoa, that's cool." They were like, "Oh my god, you actually did that?" I remember Michael went to the bathroom at some point during the meeting and I was like, "Do you think Michael thinks it's weird that I got a tattoo?" But he was like, "No man, he probably thinks it's cool."
It was so fun. I was loving working on season 3. One of the coolest things about being the board director was just seeing how flexible the show was. We'd be in meetings with Zach and Michael watching through the episode.
And they'd suddenly just pause on a shot and go, what if a car just comes in right here and smashes into Alan? And then more cars come in and they hit the boss too. And then like suddenly a new entire gag exists. Or we'd be looking at a post-credit scene and they go like, this isn't working. What if the witch comes home crying and her husband goes and he hugs her and he's like, oh, can you still suck it tonight? You said you would. And that would just become the new ending. Stuff like that happened all the time. They were always chasing the funniest version of every moment. And they weren't precious about anything. If something wasn't working, it was gone. They completely axed it. And every episode always ended up 1 or 2 minutes too long. So they were
Damn. I mean, because there's always moments where there's a lot of talking, or like a moment. moment. Yeah, so I can fully understand why it tends to be so long. These episodes specifically were all over 12 minutes long with over a full minute cuts needed to make the episode the correct length. The only episode that needed things added to it was the Halloween episode, which originally came out at around 9 minutes long. Oh, originally. So they had to add more. I feel his pain. Yeah. Damn, you gotta feel all the pain. No pain, no gain. I hope you go to sleep. I can. I definitely won't push myself though. Thank you so much, Lauren. Oh, I appreciate the support. Of course. Thank you. I know you're very busy, so take care and I hope you're resting well. My laughs are so bad. It's so bad I sound like an evil villain. I'm gonna gags. Many gags in the animation are just some dude walking in refusing to elaborate and further else. It just makes it all the better. It's like those pops and those things just top tier.
Constantly cutting or reworking scenes to hit the runtime. Which is how we ended up with lines like Alan talking
Thank
about
you.
Moleman's penis being delicious. Because that wasn't even the original joke, but it made the show better. Which is super inspiring, even for my own stuff. You know, I'd be working on a cartoon, I'd be like, oh, I don't like this section. And it made me realize, like, wait, I can just change it. But at the same time, it also meant nothing was ever really done. You'd think you finish an episode, and then suddenly you're reworking an entire scene, like the week before delivery.
At some point that season, there were talks about bringing on an animation director. And honestly, I was kind of relieved, because boarding and animation overlapped in our schedule. So having someone else take that on sounded great.
Can we get
Thank you so much for the headphones. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Wayne. Well, you gotta throw ice cream. Well, I've been like an evil villain. Okay, I sound like a witch when I'm laughing, okay? Ooh, I can't drink today, though. I'm on meds, unfortunately. My pain meds don't allow me to drink. I can drink water, though. Hi, Macaroni. How you doing? Welcome. Thank you so much for the headpads. Thank you. Alright, let's see what he sent to David. David, we want you to be the animation director. Production.
Okay, obviously I said yes. I did not care how much work it was going to be. Well, maybe I should have. Suddenly, I'm juggling my own boards, my team's boards, sending episodes overseas, getting shots back, and giving notes on everything, all at the same time. And since there was a language barrier, we handled all lip sync in-house just to make sure everything was exactly right.
Oh, so the lip sync was in-house, so at least. Oh, that's good. I didn't even know if you're gonna do it like overseas and get it done, that lip sync would be too much of an issue. I thought like you would want to get the animation done, bring it over back home, and then bring it over to whoever is doing this, the reading, and then either watching it while they're reading it, because that's how they did it back in the days, right? Old school was doing reading with the video playing and stuff like that. But now they just like record it in their own little mini studios and then read their lines and then just send over the audio. I want one of those things. The recording booths. That would be so fun to do and practice and sing. Is it possible to refund them? Maybe. it might be. As long as Dan does the refund for Lauren, it'll work. Because I don't have it pulled up. It would be one of the best feelings to become director, take control of the project as big as a show like Smiling Friends. Exactly! You can put that on your portfolio. You can literally be like, oh yeah, you want to see what I did? I worked on Smiling Friends. What did you do? At 19, no less. That's the flex you want. Yeah, I worked on Smiling Friends. What did you do during your high school years? Did you get any experience? Did you get a job like this? When the job application says, oh, you need 20, 30 years of experience. Bam. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Which is a stretch, more like a cute anime female. No, my laughs are so bad. I don't know where you got the idea that my laughs are like actually cute. They sound like, whoa, you broke the thing, Dan. Why you gotta do that? That's the after delay. It's more like a mischievous cat than a witch. Cats. Y'all are giving me an idea. You guys like cats so much, so be it. You'll see a cat next time. That was 5 years of entry-level experience. Exactly! Gonna go in, and then can get any job, because guess what? Worked on freaking Smiling Friends. That's like the biggest thing. And did like such big jobs. Already has experience. Oh my goodness. It's all good. It should have been cleared up before, but rip.
And on top of all of that, there was one thing that made the show especially demanding: specialty animation. Like the 3D and mixed media stuff in the show. So anything like that, that wasn't me. That was handled by our specialty director, Aaron Fry.
Oh, at least we got specialty animations. Ron is the A and Zam. The studio with Zach and Michael that handled specialty animations. Oh, so they brought in this group.
2D animation, my stuff, always had to change for specialty. Never the other way around. Which meant everything had to line up really precisely. So I'd think a scene was finished, and then it comes back and it's just slightly off. And now we have to rework the entire scene to make it fit seamlessly. And then there were direction boards. The least fun thing ever invented. Imagine a PDF with every single movement in the episode, broken down panel by panel. If anything moved, anything, it had to be clearly communicated for the overseas studio. And some
Makes sense, because if you're like walking forward and moving or something like that, or angle moves, change, even like the camera moving, zooming in or something. Example of what a note would be in a PDF. Make sure Pim walks at a continuous rate along the bridge, animated on 2 seconds. His feet need to plant accurately as he walks, so it doesn't appear that he's sliding. Do not animate camera motion. Animate the scene in FLA large enough to fit the entire background so we can add camera movement in the post.
Some of these were over 2,000 pages
Damn.
long. It took me a full week just to finish the first one.
Full
And
panels
halfway
per
through all of
page.
this, we added 2 more episodes to the season. So now
Nah. Hi, Carol. How you doing? Welcome. 10 p.m. CDT? What time is that? Charlie's cool. It's 10:15 p.m. CDT. This is when they were coming out with them. Airing April 12th on Adult Swim, April 13th on HBO Max. So it's a day after. I did not know that. 2 days.
I'm juggling new storyboards, getting animation back, giving notes on everything. It was a lot to keep track of. And I definitely didn't do it alone. Our animation lead, Sabrina, was incredible. The show would not...
Oh, that's nice. It's their lead animator. So it's different from the director, right? Director, then lead animator, who leads the rest of the crew and the team. I struggled 10 pages. This would straight up kill me. I feel like this would get anyone that is, like, even people who write essays, this is gonna take them a long time. Anyone that's, like, doing several pages worth of work, like, probably a whole book at this point.
have come together without her. And people stepped up everywhere.
Paul jumped in to help with direction boards. James came on as another animation lead.
And somehow, in the middle
No, that's so cool. They got so many amazing animators on this. Paul also boarded multiple episodes and animated a ton for the show.
Board. James came on as another animation lead.
And somehow, in the middle of all of that, I got some of the coolest opportunities of my life. I went to Annecy, I got to speak at SCAD, and afterwards, people were coming up to me saying they watched my YouTube videos when they were in high school. And that was the weirdest part, because I still felt like a kid. I had just gone from managing myself to managing a team
to helping manage an entire show. That's what made Smiling Friends so special. People got hired not because they had 10 years of experience, but because they were already out there making great art. And then they were...
This is how the industry shall do it. This is how we need the industry. This is how we create really good stuff. This is how we get really entertaining stuff going on. It's just getting people to actually do the work, take the time, and learn these things, rather than someone, like the animators who've done it for years, they're gonna make their series, like, we got iconic creators and iconic series from, like, Simpsons, Family Guy, all those other people. But, like, the fresh ones, the new ones, why not let them be the creatives that are already working on this type of stuff? I mean, look at Digital Circus. That's another good example of just someone being passionate about what they do, their work, their art, and putting it out there until it becomes something so great. You say that, but the suits don't want people that don't have experience because it's a risk. Do you not see the experience? If they are posting YouTube videos and that's getting views and people are loving their work, wouldn't that automatically see that as not a risk because it's actually someone that is competent enough and knows what they're doing, knows the experience, has the experience to work on this type of stuff? This is like the proof is in the pudding kind of thing. Wait, Ed's World? I didn't know that. We got some stupid shit lined up, wanna join? That's how you hire people. Yeah, do the goofy stuff.
Trusted to step up. Even during the show, people would get brought on because someone saw a piece of fan art or an animation online relating to Smiling.
Oh, that's so good. I think it's fun to reshare. It's 2 years ago, part of my application for character designer on Smiling Friends, which was a pipe dream in retrospect, given I barely have a portfolio. Haha.
Online relating to Smiling Friends, and we would just reach out to them. I don't know.
Our recruiter messaged both of them after we saw their online stuff. They both got hired as designers.
Many other shows that worked like that. It says a lot about Zach and Michael that they trusted artists like that. And I think that's what they saw in me too. They liked my work. More importantly, they could tell that I cared about the show. I was willing to do whatever it took to make it as good as possible. I had their trust when I was still figuring it out. I became more responsible, more confident, and I got to help make something I really love.
So I was getting ready to start storyboarding on season 4, and I hadn't heard what my start date was yet. So when I got an email, I was stoked. And then I opened it.
Team Aqua Forza like that. No! This was the end! This is the end. That's how it feels. Hi, Uncle! How you doing? Welcome! Yeah! Ed's World is one of the childhood shows someone's working in Smiling Friends! One of the animators! That is crazy! Thank you so much for the headpads. Hi, Ice! Hi, Ice-T! How you doing? Welcome! Thank you so much for the stretch. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay. Is this for real? Is this really happening? Oh my goodness, all the messages too. Let me see the other words. What's happening? The show got cancelled? Oh... I just got the canceled. Hey, I just saw the news. I'm so sorry. Oh, can we meet up? Waffle House. Not the Waffle House.
Hannah had just moved here
No.
2 months ago to work on the show. And now, the thing that had made our lives so amazing was over. And as I was sitting there, looking across the table, at my friend who had just lost her job, and my other friend who wasn't going to see me back in the office anymore, just not even knowing what to do, I realized that these two people sitting in front of me would never have ever been sitting in front of me if not for this show.
Oh.
I would have never met either of these two. I would have never had the relationship with these people who are here with me at a Waffle House at midnight on a random Thursday if not for this show. I wouldn't have a career. I wouldn't have met my heroes. I couldn't have gone to Italy
If it wasn't for Smiling Friends. And so I don't regret a thing. And I understand why Zach and Michael ended the show. They gave their entire lives to it for years. Everything in it was exactly what they wanted it to be. And when you care that much for that long about every single detail, it makes sense to step away when you feel like you've taken it as far as you can. And so, even though it was sudden, I couldn't be mad about it.
because Smiling Friends changed my life. And yeah, I was sad. I was sad I wouldn't have my job anymore. But mostly I was just thinking about how lucky I was to be part of it at all. I got to grow up through that show. I went from being a teenager who didn't know what he was doing to helping run something I used to watch as a fan. I got to work with people I looked up to. I got to make something I genuinely love. And I got to make friends I still talk to every day. And that's not a chance a lot of people get. So even though Smiling Friends is over, I'm really glad it happened. I'm glad I got to be a part of it. And I'm glad I put this on my arm.
Oh.
So see you, crazy critters. It was fun while it lasted. Goodbye.
Seeing it as a positive. Iconic.
But David, you don't have a job anymore. How can I support you going forward? Thanks for asking, Murderer. You can support me on Patreon. It's in the pinned comment. Oh, and seriously, go check out my friends who worked on the show too. They're in the same spot I'm in right now.
Yeah, I hope that he gets where's I mean he did. He got to 369. Yeah. It was wonderful, honestly. It really shows how creative and how amazing the people who really worked on it and put all of their time, effort, and everything into this to give us something so beautiful that we can all appreciate. And honestly, it's a wonderful understanding to be like, oh, yeah, this is like our moment of like, oh, it's over now. But now they're gonna be moving on to something even better in the future. I like that. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video as much as I did. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see each other next time. Bye-bye.